Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be trying to understand Lord Siva from Hinduism. And we've got some really interesting excerpts and a pretty helpful briefing doc to help us unpack dual nature, right? So he's kind of this transcendent, absolute, but also a personal God.
Yeah, it's a fascinating paradox, isn't it, to think about how one being can embody these vast and seemingly opposite concepts. That's what makes Lord Siva so intriguing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sources describe him as this pure, changeless, attributeless, all-pervading transcendental consciousness.
Wow.
That's a lot, even just saying it.
Yeah.
And they also call him Nishkriya Purusha, which means inactive yet fundamental to existence.
Right.
So how could something be both inactive and D-like, crucial to everything?
Well, it's this really profound idea. Imagine like a vast, still ocean. On the surface, it seems calm, inactive even, but beneath, there's this incredible depth teeming with life. That stillness is holding the potential for everything.
Yeah.
That's Siva as Nishkriya Purusha.
Wow.
Even in stillness, he embodies this potential and is crucial to the existence of, well, everything.
So it's like, I don't know, the seed of like a giant tree or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's tiny and seemingly inert, but inside is the blueprint.
Hey, that's a great analogy. Immense thing.
A great analogy. He's also often compared to the impersonal absolute Brahman.
Okay.
Now, that's a mouthful, but essentially it refers to the ultimate reality in Hinduism, like this concept that's beyond our limited human understanding, right, of separate things.
Right.
And Siva, in this form, represents that ultimate reality. So beyond duality, untouched by limitations, there's this really powerful image from one of the texts. It says, when there is neither light nor darkness, neither form nor energy, neither sound nor matter, Siva alone exists in himself. Wow.
It's almost impossible for me to grasp, but I know, right?
It definitely makes you kind of stop and rethink the nature of reality, doesn't it?
Totally.
But yet the sources also highlight him as like an active force, like an omnipotent God who's involved in the universe.
Yeah.
So how do these two seemingly opposite ideas come together?
Well, that's where Shakti comes into the picture.
Okay.
So Shakti is divine power. The dynamic force that animates the universe.
Okay.
So when Siva is identified with Shakti, he becomes this dynamic force.
Got it.
The one who creates, preserves, and ultimately destroys the universe.
So he's both the stillness and the energy that arises from it?
Precisely.
Okay.
And the imagery they use to describe this is just incredible.
Yeah.
Imagine Prakriti, which represents nature, dancing on Siva's chest.
Okay.
This is the cosmic dance of creation, preservation, and destruction.
Dancing. That's not what I was expecting.
Right.
It seems almost joyful.
It is.
For such a powerful concept.
It's a dance of supreme joy and creation.
Wow.
His movements drive the cycle of the universe. Birth, growth, decay, death, and rebirth.
Wow.
All part of this never-ending dance, orchestrated by Siva and his dynamic energy.
That's a really beautiful way to picture it.
I think so.
And speaking of cycles, the texts really emphasize the cyclical nature of existence itself, right? They describe everything as originating from Siva, existing within him, being sustained by him, and then eventually merging back into him.
Exactly. It's this incredible cosmic flow, this constant interplay of creation and dissolution.
Yeah.
One of the texts puts it this way. The jivas, or individual souls, and the world originate from him, exist in him, are sustained and rejected by him, and are ultimately merged in him.
Wow.
It's a profound concept that speaks to the interconnectedness of everything.
It really does make you feel like you're part of something much bigger.
Right.
So we've got Siva as like this ultimate reality and the force behind the universe.
Yeah.
But what about his role in like our individual lives?
Right.
Does he interact with us on a personal level?
He absolutely does. And this is where his compassion really shines, I think.
Okay.
He's often described as the destroyer of all bondage, limitation, and sorrow of his devotees.
Okay.
So essentially, he offers mukti, liberation, or final emancipation from suffering.
So even though he's this cosmic being, he's still accessible to us.
Absolutely. In fact, the texts specifically mention that he's accessible to all.
Okay.
Even the untouchable Chandalas and the illiterate rustics can approach him.
Wow.
given the strict social hierarchies of the time, that's remarkable.
Yeah, it really is.
It really speaks to his universal compassion.
It's interesting that he's said to dwell in the cremation ground, the region of the dead.
Right. That's highly symbolic.
Okay.
You know, it's not about a morbid fascination with death.
Right.
It's about being dead to the world. Yeah. Detached from worldly things.
Okay.
Siva, dwelling in the cremation ground, shows us that by letting go of attachments, we can be closer to truth and liberation.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So we've covered his duality, his roles in creation and destruction, and his compassion for humanity.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling there's more to this deity, right?
Oh, yeah, there's always more to uncover.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the next layer.
Okay, great. I'm ready too. There's always more to uncover, isn't there? I'm ready for the next layer.
Oh, there's plenty more. We've talked about his power and his compassion, but Lord Siva is also considered the embodiment of truth, beauty, goodness, and bliss.
That's a lot to embody.
It is.
How do the sources describe these qualities in relation to Siva?
They use these wonderful terms. Satyam, Sivam, Subham, Sundaram, Kantam.
Wow. Oh.
Each one representing a virtue.
Okay.
Satya means truth. Sivam is auspiciousness, or that which is aligned with the divine.
Okay.
Subham is goodness. Sundaram is beauty.
Got it.
And Kantam is loveliness.
So he's like the embodiment of these ideals, like the ultimate role model.
He's seen as the source of all knowledge and wisdom, the ideal yogi and muni, which refers to a sage or ascetic devoted to spiritual practice.
Right.
He embodies these qualities not just through his actions, but through his very being.
So we have cosmic power, universal compassion, and assation work. Perfect wisdom.
You got it.
What else is there?
Well, if that wasn't enough, he's also considered the ideal head of an ideal family.
Okay.
The texts mention his wife, Uma, his son, Subramanya, the brave general, and his son, Ganesha, the remover of obstacles.
Wait, a family man?
Yeah.
That seems almost down to earth.
Right.
Considering everything else we've learned.
True.
It makes him relatable, don't you think?
Absolutely. Here's this incredibly powerful deity, yet he has this very human aspect.
Yeah.
It makes him more accessible.
Right.
And each family member embodies an aspect of his nature.
Oh, okay.
For instance, Ganesha's role as the remover of obstacles shows us that even the most powerful god understands the need for overcoming challenges.
I love that.
Yeah.
So no matter how vast and cosmic he is, he still understands the importance of family.
Yes.
And those personal connections.
Totally.
A fascinating blend.
And let's not forget all the names and titles associated with Siva Rudra, Mahadeva, Deva Deva, Asatosha, Prajapati.
Wow.
Each reflecting a different facet of his being.
That's a lot of names.
I know. It makes sense, though, given how multifaceted he is.
Right. Are there any specific symbols associated with him?
Definitely. He's often depicted with a trident, the Trishula, which represents the three fundamental qualities of creation, preservation, and destruction.
Okay. And what about, I remember reading about the Ganges River.
Oh, yeah.
Flowing through his hair.
That's a great one. Legend says that the goddess Ganga descended from heaven with such force that it could have destroyed the earth.
Wow.
But Siva caught the river in his matted locks, cushioning the impact and allowing the sacred water to flow gently onto the earth.
Talk about a powerful image. It speaks volumes about his protective nature and his role as a mediator between the divine and the earthly.
Right. So to recap, Lord Siva is this incredible blend of seemingly opposite qualities. He's the transcendent and the personal, the destroyer and the creator.
Yeah.
The fearsome and the compassionate.
It's incredible to think that one deity can hold all these contradictions and embody such a wide range of qualities.
I know, right? It's no wonder he's such an important figure in Hinduism.
Absolutely. Represents the full spectrum of existence.
He does, and I think that's what makes him so endlessly fascinating. He challenges us to think about the nature of reality, the cycle of life and death.
Right.
And the potential for both destruction and creation within ourselves.
And on that note, I think we've reached the point in our deep dive where it's time for you to leave our listener with a final thought. Something to really ponder.
Right.
After we sign off. I'm ready for that final thought-provoking question. Hit me with it.
All right. Well, after this deep dive into Lord Siva's world, I think a key question to consider is this.
Okay.
How can understanding Siva's duality, help us find balance in our own lives?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
He's both this formless, absolute Andy, this personal, active God.
Right. Exactly.
So how do we apply that to our lives?
Exactly. Can we let Siva embrace both our inner world of stillness and our outer world of action and engagement?
It's like finding that sweet spot between contemplation and participation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We can't just be
caught up in the hustle and bustle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we can't withdraw from the world entirely either.
Exactly. It's finding that balance.
Yeah.
Lord Siva dances between creation and destruction. Maybe finding a similar rhythm in our own lives is key. Balancing our, our spiritual side with our earthly responsibilities.
Right.
Not an easy task, but definitely worth striving for.
It is something to reflect on, for sure.
It is.
And honestly, I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of who Lord Siva is and what he represents.
That's the beauty of exploring these ancient myths and deities, There's always more to discover, more layers to peel back. Each time you revisit them, you gain a new perspective.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe we'll do another deep dive on Lord Siva in the future.
That's right.
And uncover even more fascinating insights.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the vast world of knowledge out there.
Great advice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the multifaceted world of Lord Siva. We'll catch you on the next one.